2016, I failed miserably, spectacularly. I spent a lot of money becoming a mindset coach, and prior to that, I did the, personal training thing, and I didn't really like that. I was more into mindset because I thought that had the most profound impact in our life. But as I learnt, that ain't true. That's not true. And the reason for that is that I failed miserably as a mindset coach. I failed miserably as a mindset coach. So I picked up, I spent a lot of money becoming a mindset coach. I went out, got some clients, and I had performance anxiety. I mean, come on, I had performance anxiety. So I was weak. I wasn't helping my clients. So the two that I had, I refunded their money and I just called it quits for the time being. I knew that I had to be a better man, a better coach. So I believe that's a good thing, admitting your mistakes and wanting to become better at what you're passionate about. I'm passionate about being a great coach. And that led me to Kelly McGonigal. Now, she had a paradigm shift, and she helped me have a paradigm shift. So I learnt from Kelly McGonigal, and she wrote a book about this, and you can grab it. It's called The Upside of Stress. Is that we can leverage stress. We can make stress our friend. And when we get to over here, so we're going clockwise, when we get all the way over here, I'm going to show you how we can do that in the 5-day challenge. And Kelly had a very profound, she was teaching people that you need to lower stress. But as she learnt, that's not the game. If you want to lower stress and just be average and whatever, I'm not here to be average. I don't know about you. I want to kick ass. I want to be a great coach. I want to change lives, and I want to make an impact. I want to wake up at 6 to be like, I really killed it. I was outside my comfort zone and I grew. That's what I want. So she had a paradigm shift. And so did I. And what she found is that people who have what's called a growth index for a stress response, the acronym is GISR, geyser, like a geyser flowing. It's kind of how I started to remember it. They enjoy more success. Right? More success. So there's so much research behind this. And it's in Kelly's book as well. She spoke about this on a TED Talk. You can check it out on YouTube. And I'll speak about three things, three extra profoundly life-changing things that it can do for you when you get this right. But what is it? What is the growth index? I mean, come on, what is it? It's hormones, a strong hormonal response. So it's all about DHEA and our good friend cortisol. Now, you need DHEA up here, dihydroepiandrosterone, and our good friend cortisol down here. Now, our hormones are created in a 24-hour period, and in the 5-day challenge, I'll show you how to do that. And when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things true, guess what cortisol does? It becomes your buddy, your pal. And this isn't difficult to do. Cortisol likes to do two things. He likes to come out to play when he wants, and he likes to crush it physically. So when you do that, you've optimized cortisol. And when you crush it physically, you've created more demand for A-player hormones. When you create more demand for something, you produce more of them. So every time you do this and get it right, you're going to produce a strong hormone response over time. And that adds up big. Over a month, 6 months, a year. It can completely transform who you are and how you show up in the world, but in a very powerful and profoundly life-changing way. And again, when we get over here, I'll show you how you can do that. So, 3 kinds of success, right? Kelly spoke about in a book, times 3. So the first thing was it predicts superior military performance. Now, I'm not in the military, and you mightn't be either. But what that means for you and I is that we're going to kick ass in the gym. We're going to be lean effortlessly. We're going to get stronger. And when we go to the gym and do it right, we're creating, again, more demand for these A-player hormones. Think about that. More demand, better hormones, bigger game. And you can do this. Anyone can do this. So the second thing she spoke to was it predicts superior academic success. And I'm no academic. In fact, I was told at school that I wasn't very smart and I should work with my hands. But as I learned in 2018 from Professor Waltman from MIT, he said, and many other scientists have said the exact same thing, that our brain has evolved to increase in size and IQ as we age, when two things are true. Thing number one is that we have trophic support. What is trophic support? Strong hormonal response and a couple of other things, but yeah, don't worry about that. I'll speak about that in the 5-day challenge. And the second thing is we stimulate growth, right? So we have to learn. We have to want to become better. So when we stimulate that, our IQ and brain size goes up. These hardworking scientists are giving us all the tools. We just need to be hungry for life and want to take life on. And I'm hungry. I want more from life. So the third thing that Kelly spoke to, and this is really important for me as a coach, is predicts superior problem solving. So that goes back to the next one, academic success. So you got a better working memory, right? You're a superior problem solver. You got better memory recall, memory consolidation. So doing presentations like this is effortless. I can remember before I got this right, this was, doing something like this, I would have tried 3 or 4 times. It would have been physically and emotionally draining, but now I just love doing it. And you can do this. Anyone can do this. It's all about producing that strong hormonal response. So I don't know about you, but I want to wake up at 60 and be damn proud of what I've achieved. And I want my wife to know in her heart of hearts that I'm the man. I'm the go-getter. I'm going to build a legacy. I want to show my kids how to take life on, to go after what's theirs in the universe. So that is super important, that we get this hormonal response right. But here's the thing. Professor Sapolsky says that by thought alone, perception of a situation can raise our friend cortisol here, right? Can raise cortisol here twofold, right? So our mindset can screw us over, but something else can also screw us over. Now, the clients that I'm coaching at the moment, all of them, bar none of them, have had hidden stress we've had to remove. And this isn't difficult to do. It's very easy to do. And this hidden stress raises cortisol. So it makes it more difficult for us. It's clamping our ability to produce A-player hormones. So we have to unclamp ourselves. We have to unclamp ourselves. And this is, again, not a difficult thing to do. So in 2016, I completely failed as a coach, miserably. I knew this. I want to become a better coach. And I failed again. What did I fail at doing? I failed at producing a strong, consistent growth index for a stress response. My body was physically incapable of doing it. I tried for 6 months. I couldn't do it. I was up and down all over the place. My hormones were shit. And I was doing everything I thought was right. But the one thing that, if you know me personally, there's one thing that I never ever do. Never ever quit. I'm a bulldog, I'm a fighter. I know that there's always a solution out there. So I'm hungry. I don't care how long it takes me to find the solution. I'm going to find it. So that brings me to 2017. So 16 was a complete mess for me, but it was a good mess. I learned a lot of things. I learned that I wasn't ready to be a great coach yet. I had to figure this out, and I was going to do it. So 2017 was a pretty special year. My daughter, Brianna, she wanted to pursue a dancing career. So she moved, and to achieve that, she had to move in with a family, so it was kind of stressful. And I kind of put everything I was doing on hold in 2017. And my diet and my training kind of got neglected. So guess what happened to my hormones? As I was speaking before, to produce a strong hormonal response, we've got to do it physically and mentally. So my hormones went down even further. So 2017 got pretty bad for me. But I was searching, I was reading, I was listening, I was YouTubing, I was searching, and I came across, well, I already knew this gentleman, but I knew that he was an expert in stress physiology, right? He's an expert in hormones as well, right? And we're talking about the guys here, which is a strong hormonal response. Who was this dude? Professor Sapolsky. Professor Sapolsky. And for me, the penny dropped. He said two things. I learned two things very quickly from Professor Sapolsky. And it made a lot of sense because I knew that to get to where I wanted to be, I had to have an unfair advantage, a strong hormonal response, because I had performance anxiety, failed as a mindset coach. And I was struggling to keep the weight off, and my energy and mood was just shit. I mean, it was terrible. And I thought, I'm just getting old, right? But that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm 49 and I've never felt better. So I learned two things from Professor Sapolsky. The first thing is that there's two things that change the way we feel. Two things. Thing number one, hormones. And hormones last, Sapolsky said, hormones last from minutes to days to weeks. And we know that they profoundly change the way we feel. Stress hormones foster negative emotion, negative thoughts. How do you know? How do you feel? Where's your mood? Where's your energy? You could have hidden stress inside you, tapping you down, greatly lowering your true potential in life. So these hormones create an undercurrent. What's your undercurrent? If you've got negative emotions, a bit too much. If your focus isn't where it wants to be, if you've got brain fog, if you've got mood swings, if you've got any of that kind of shit, you can fix this and it's not difficult. But you've got an undercurrent of negative emotion. Now, what I also learned from Professor Sapolsky, the second thing that can change the way you feel are neuromodulators, neurotransmitters. But they only last from seconds to minutes. So here's the thing. You wake up in the morning, you try positive thought. I'm going to do well, I'm going to do well. But remember, seconds to minutes. This undercurrent of negative emotion takes over underneath the surface, and these negative thoughts float back up, change the way you feel. So what happens? For a lot of people, we put it off. We worry about what other people think. We show up with performance anxiety like I used to. Because DHEA is a neural steroid, so it helps your brain grow stronger from stress. So you want to get outside your comfort zone, but it's well known for its feelings of warm-heartedness, caring, but also vigor, strength and vitality and courage. Now, testosterone, it's extraordinarily important for both men and for women. It significantly lowers feelings of anxiety and fear, so it's ticking that box, but it also, and profoundly, increases feelings. That's right, feelings. These hormones create feelings of confidence and optimism. So again, it's ticking the right boxes, and it's important for both men and for women. So if you've got down here, if you've got A player hormones, right, it's an unfair advantage. Think about it. So you're ready to go. You've got the energy because you've got thyroid support. You've got feel-good hormones, so you feel good. And you've got the alpha A play hormones to take life on. So you've got an unfair advantage from the get-go. And all you need to do is rev up the neuromodulators to get out of your comfort zone to take life on. And that's not difficult. I learned from Andrew Huberman, who is a professor of neuroscience at Stanford, that you can train these systems up. In fact, a lot of these neuroscientists train up the Navy SEALs. They show them how to do this. Now, I've got a question for you. Do you think that the Navy SEALs, they use positive thought, before they go into a battle. They're like, I'm going to do well, right? I'm going to do well. They don't do that. Do you think they might use NLP? They don't do that. They do something completely different. In the 5-day challenge, I'll speak to what they do, and it's not difficult. You can train this up. So what we're doing, right? So when we create a physical demand, we're physically saying we want more A-player hormones when we have a high growth index. And we can also do this with mindset. We can create a mindset demand for these A-player hormones, and this isn't difficult to do. So what we have to understand is we've got two things that change the way we feel. Thing number one, hormones. They last from minutes to days to weeks. So we have to get this foundation right. We have to make sure our body can physically create A-player hormones, unimpeded, 24/7, every single day. And these hormones are created over a 24 period. And when we get to the 5-day challenge, and you watch me draw out this conception of how to make cortisol your friend, you'll see how easy it is to do. And what we also have to understand is that we can rev up the alpha in us like that, seconds to minutes, right? So the Navy SEALs train that up. So they want to get out and they want to take it on. And you can do the same. It's just like when you go to the gym, right? You lift the weights. And if you've got A-player hormones and you have great nutrition, you're going to get bigger and stronger. And the same is true for the brain. Recall I mentioned earlier about Professor Woltman from MIT. Now, he's found that our brain has evolved to increase in size and IQ when we have two things. Thing number one is trophic support. And a lot of trophic support is about A-player hormones, right? They help with trophic support. And you can do this. You can do this. But for your brain to increase in size and IQ, we've got to fill it with knowledge, right? Got to fill it with knowledge. So it's not enough to just have the knowledge, you've got to execute said knowledge. So we have to rep this out, right? So when you're training these systems up like a Navy SEAL, you're sending growth signals to the control circuit of the brain. You're sending growth signals to the success circuit of the brain. And you can do this. You just have to rep it out like you're at the gym. And every single day, this part of the brain gets functionally bigger and stronger. DHEA has to be on board there, testosterone, thyroid support. Thyroid is really important for brain growth. So is BDNF and all these players. And you can do this. This isn't difficult. This isn't difficult. So what I had to understand, and I'll speak to this in the 5-day challenge, is that right now you've got this thing here. And it's called hidden stress. How do you know if you've got hidden stress? How do you feel? As my coach said to me in late 2017, he said, Mark, if you're having any more than a couple of off days a month, you're doing something wrong. I can remember thinking to myself, oh yeah, right. You know, like I'm nearly 49. My hormones are tapped out, right. But as it turns out, he showed me that I had hidden stress in my body. And when the stress leaves the body, right, you can start creating a demand for A-player hormones to start coming up and up and up and up. And then add to that, couple to that, what these neuroscientists are teaching us, how we can train up the control circuit in our brain and the success circuit in our brain. We can create growth signals to that area. So we can also and profoundly create more resources to be allocated to that part of the brain. We're going to kick ass in life. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about in the 5-day challenge. Now I've also recall, if you've seen the information below, I've got Dr. Anthony J, who is my mentor, genetic expert, but also did his PhD dissertation on sex hormones and cholesterol. And that, if you got average levels or even below average levels of testosterone, in 6 weeks, you can double that to say 800 nanograms per deciliter. anyone can do this, because right now you've got hidden stress inside you, and you'll be surprised to learn where it is, but it's ever so simple to fix. So what we have to do is cleanse and heal the 5 main hormonal systems, and cleanse and heal all the metabolic pathways of energy, longevity, detox in your amazing body, and everything starts opening up. We start to heal. We get a little bit stronger every day. And then if you add to that the mindset tweaks, and they're really simple stuff. It's not about positive thinking. Again, do you think the SEALs, like, I want to kick ass, right? I want to go and perform and kick ass every day. Do you think the SEALs go, oh, I'm going to do really well? That's not what they do. And that's what I used to think that people did. But, we want to perform on a whole new level. So we don't want to be average. We want to perform up here like the 1% club. That's where I want to be. I don't know about you, but I know you're intelligent, because you're still here listening to what I'm saying, and you want to be in this 5-day challenge, and you want to kick ass. And this time next year, if you action everything that Dr. J, Dr. Barb, and all the other people that we speak to in this 5-day challenge, if you action what they say to do, this time next year, you're going to be in a completely different mind and body. Walking around lean will be easy. You'll have more focus. You'll have consistent energy, consistent moods. You'll want to rev the engine to go into a stress response, a challenge response outside your comfort zone, and you'll be hungry for that. You'll want to do that. And that's what taking life on is all about. So you could be an entrepreneur. You could be a CEO, or you might want to be. You could be an elite sports person. You could be in the military. This is how we do it. So the 5-day challenge is ready for you. The information should be below of how to access the 5-day challenge. And I can't wait to see you there. Dr. J is going to be in the house. Dr. Barb's going to be in the house. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see you there. So it's going to be happening soon. It's going to be happening real soon. And we're going to absolutely set your life on fire, so to speak. I want to show you how you can take life on, and it's not your fault. You're not broken. You're not weak. Your hormones are weak. Your metabolic pathways are weak. And you can fix that. You can fix that. Much love.